Friday morning, and what a Friday it is shaping up to be. Possibly the most beautiful day we've seen so far this year. Michelle McDougall with those details in a few minutes. Right now, though, as we do hit 7 o'clock, time for us to take a look at this morning's top news headlines. And we begin with a good news, bad news March for Alberta's job market. The province came out ahead by 1,500 jobs last month. However, those were primarily part-time. In fact, more than 18,000 full-time jobs were lost. That drove our unemployment rate up to 5.5%. Nationally, Canada's economy added 29,000 jobs, leaving the unemployment rate static at 6.8%. And jobs were the biggest topic of discussion on day 3 of the provincial campaign trail. Wildrose unveiling their fiscal plan Thursday. It includes eliminating 3,200 government jobs. Most would come under the Alberta Health Services umbrella. Leader Brian Jean also says the party would delay lower priority infrastructure projects.
Some things are not necessary to build right away, and we will defer those projects. This is about making sure that people don't have another $12 billion in taxes when they're hurt, when they're worried about the future. That is not the way you handle an economy properly.
The jobs were also front and center for the Tories and NDP on Thursday. In particular, the focus on the impact that corporate tax rates would have on creating new positions for Alberta's volatile economic environment.
You know, if you talk to anyone in Alberta, they know somebody who's been affected by job losses. And so if I'm the Premier, we are going to hang on to every job. We're not going to increase taxes and drive away investment and cost ourselves jobs at this point in time.
I'm the only leader that's actually talking about a plan to create jobs. It's Mr. Prentice that is talking about sacrificing jobs, whether it's in the public sector or he's predicting job loss in the private sector, and he's offered no plan to Albertans to deal with that.
As part of her proposal, Notley suggested creating a job tax credit for businesses who create new jobs. Liberal leader David Swan, meanwhile, spending the day campaigning in Calgary. He is set to be in the city again today, announcing a plan to, quote, improve the lives of our most vulnerable. Our recent polls show the Tories, NDP, and Wildrose in a deadlock, and that may reflect public discontent with the 44-year PC regime. Political observers still agree, though, Prentice and the Tories have the upper hand. But they warn, don't place your bets just yet, as the campaign is now only 4 days old, and it's too early to tell exactly how those cards will fall. However, observers do say that voter turnout will matter significantly.
Jim Prentice has to find a way of motivating the PC supporters. You know, if there's dissatisfaction with the timing of the election, if there's dissatisfaction with the budget, these folks are going to sit at home, you know, and that apathy will be bad news for Jim Prentice.
The 2012 election saw 54% of eligible voters casting a ballot, a jump of 14% from the 2008 election. A man accused of killing a St. Albert couple is being released on bail again. Travis Vader is under stricter bail conditions. He'll continue to wear an electronic tracking device. He must live at home in Camrose. His curfew from 10 p.m. till 6 a.m. Vader charged with killing St. Albert couple Lyle and Marie McCann. They disappeared back in 2010. Their burnt-out motorhome discovered near Edson, but their bodies never have been recovered. Vader's trial slated to begin next March. Homicide detectives asking for the public's help with the disappearance of a 31-year-old man. Kwong Tu was last seen leaving Visions Electronics in South Edmonton on March 11th. His black Dodge Ram found burnt out the next morning. Police believe he may have been involved in high-risk activities. While we've all probably exclaimed it behind the wheel, where'd you learn to drive? Well, car makers are taking steps they hope will help to fix that. New automated features being introduced in several vehicles, but what are the benefits? City News' David Green explains.
And now just drag the brake and let the vehicle do its job.
Some cars at this year's Edmonton Motor Show might take you for a spin.
And now I'm rolling backwards and I have a very light touch.
Some vehicles can parallel park, leaving you completely hands-free.
but you're not looking around and,
Yeah.
and you've lost complete awareness of. This way, you're using and working with the systems of the car and yet still maintain full and complete.
Well, and what surprises me is it feels very safe.
A feature on a more high-end vehicle is the emergency brake assist.
Only the very last second where you'll need to interact with the car does it kick in for you and slow the car down and brake before you collide with the car.
With all these new technologies being introduced to vehicles, one question many people are asking is, what is it going to do to insurance?
Anything that provides greater level of safety and lowers risks for people who drive and for pedestrians, the insurance industry is highly supportive of it.
Over the past several years, companies like Volvo, Tesla, and Google have been testing self-driving cars. Insurance companies are taking notice.
Right now, if you drive a vehicle, it's the driver that's insured for that particular vehicle. In a driverless society, is it the driver that's the risk, or is it the vehicle that's the risk? We don't know.
There could come a day where the term "keep both hands on the wheel" is just a metaphor. David Green, City News.